So this is a weird video. I've been productive pretty much every day, it feels like, since I made the decision at the end of college that I wanted to start building a business on the side while I was doing school, inevitably, as I also was doing the last year of my cross-country career, and then finally when I was working a full 9-to-5 job. Outside of school, I lasted not that long in the workforce in the traditional sense. I ended up in the beginning of October of 2023, putting in my notice and leaving my job. And as you're probably seeing by the date of this video, it's October 2024, and I'm only getting around to recording this after I realized it's been a year of me running my business. It's actually insane to me that this is how long it's been. And I've been productive pretty much every day since. I feel like I've had pretty minimal days where I don't think about work, where I don't want to work, where I don't want to do anything except get up, work on my business, get back to work on my business, maybe eat some food, then get back to work on my business again. Now, I know a lot of times in this channel, we talk practically about all the different things that I have done with different productivity apps. We talk about apps that want to go on our channel and we end up vibing with them. So I make videos on those and they're sponsored content. And then I sometimes reference the fact that I've had this business for the last year. And you've probably noticed that if you go on my website, riseproductive.com, there's like a lot more going on than there was even a year ago because of all the clients we work with now, all the services we provide, and just like everything's just bigger and different than it was a year ago. We have a much different group of people working with me. We have a much different set of skills personally, and we have pretty much the same mindset and like the same fervor of wanting to do this thing. So I've thought about it a lot, and I feel like based on the amount I work and the amount of effort and time I spend thinking about my business, that in comparison to what most people talk about with work or school, they would say that they were burned out by now. And I just wanted to talk about a couple of the different ways that I've managed to not burn out. And I've managed to be this person who really loves what they're doing and isn't nervous about screwing up in any sense of the imagination, right? Like, I'm not worried about screwing up social life, health, any of these things, because it's simple. I love what I'm doing. And I love what I'm doing because I'm learning. And I actually think this is probably the main theme of this entire video, which is I'm constantly learning in my business and I'm constantly growing. A lot of people, when they've looked at their job and they're upset about their job, it's usually not because their job's too hard. I have friends where that's the case, where their job is difficult, and it actually somehow keeps them more happy with their job than those who feel like they're just in this rut where they're not really doing anything with their life, in the sense that they're not gaining the skills, they're not moving in a direction. I find it very similar to what you'd see with people who are irritated sitting in traffic. You're moving at a rate which is pretty funny. Like, say for example, you were able to move in traffic at like a medium to moderate rate and then be stuck for 5 minutes. It's different than if you were going at like a slow rate the entire time, but you're seeing the surroundings move. I always notice people tend to be more irritated in traffic when you're just stuck. And the reason being here is because you're seeing movement, you're seeing growth. When people are at these different stages in life where they don't see any growth, they don't feel any growth, they don't feel any learning, they're at the same job, doing the same thing, dealing with the same clients, same problems, same deliverables, and nothing is adjusting. And what I love about business is the fact that I'm constantly learning, I'm constantly growing, I'm constantly trying my best to take a stab at different things. And this is an approach in life where I think you can transfer it to any field you're in. If you feel like you're stuck, try to do something outside of work. Take a course. Talk to a friend in a different field. See how they can help you advance your skills. For me, a lot of it's simply YouTube, self-learning, and then being a nerd, so I tend to learn things pretty fast. And I've built out so many different systems in my company. I didn't even know I was like an automation nerd or liked that stuff a couple years ago, but now that's like one of my main skills. When I was just doing marketing and I felt like it was just this constant stream of money being paid, and then you over and over again have to report on how the money was spent and what you got in return, and nothing was really changing. I felt irritated because I felt like nothing's changing around here. It's just another month where we have to report how much money we spent, if we spent over, if we spent under. The client was irritable, if we were within this weird 1% range, the client was like, oh, perfect. But why didn't you spend exactly at the number? Like, it was a very different experience then, where I felt limited in my capacity to learn. But what I always was happy about was what I was doing with Rise Productive in my business, because I didn't limit my capacity to learn. I was like, if I'm going to be my own boss, I have to make sure that learning is a high priority item here. And that's what I think has helped me be successful in this past year. I've done just as well, if not better, than when I had a job from a mental health standpoint. Obviously, I was working 2 jobs at the time, but when you end up running your own business, you do end up stressing and, working more than when you had the job and the business. Are you working maybe a little less in comparison? Maybe. Some weeks definitely not, because at least when I had the full-time income, I could slack on the side business if I wanted to take a little bit of a break. But those weren't weeks I enjoyed. Like, I felt eerily tired that whole week, even though I was the most rested. Whereas these weeks, I will wake up always with a fervor. Outside of the weeks where I'm clearly overworked, I'll wake up with a fervor to do something. And I'm only ever and feel limited when I'm stuck doing the same repetitive task over and over again, and I'm not growing. So what I would recommend to stay productive throughout the whole year is not the whole self-help sort of recommendation of take breaks or whatever. I do think taking breaks in some senses are good on the weekends with your loved ones and your friends. But throughout the work week, if you're not waking up excited about going to work, I don't want to just say change your mindset, but find opportunities to learn. Because when you're learning, you're not only earning when you have a job, but you're also earning things above income. You're earning passion. You're earning that fire again to do what you like to do at work. And if you don't feel like you're learning at your job, learn outside of your job. Get off of social media in the true sense of the concept where it's being social, and utilize it as a resource. Utilize YouTube as a course platform. Utilize podcasts. Utilize all of this wealth of information. That's what I did. When I wanted to learn a lot about automation, I YouTubed it. I looked up the forum stuff. I used ChatGPT as a soundboard as to how code worked. When I want to spend time during football season dealing with the nonsense of the Chiefs having everybody hurt and people also at the same time being like, get over it, your team's won 2 straight Super Bowls, I have my couple hours of background listening to ESPN because I'm a jock too. That's what I used to do. But I also feel like I'm learning a little bit in those moments because I'm learning about what's going on in the sports world. But I think the clear thing I want to say here is those are the reprieves you can have, but don't make the reprieves the norm. Don't scroll on Twitter just to get through the workday. If you're finding it difficult to get through the workday and your boss is already not noticing the fact that you're scrolling on Twitter, use the extra time to learn something or have a freelance gig. Let's just be real. Using the freelance gig as a way to build your portfolio or learn more is going to be more beneficial for your mental health than any random tweet or X post, Instagram post that you see about the world around you. You'll find and learn more about that stuff through individuals in your life, and you'll enjoy it more. Hearing a funny story about, how Karl Anthony Towns got traded to the Knicks was actually more enjoyable when I heard it from a friend because we had a funny conversation about it rather than texting the friend about it. So if you do want to learn more about how you can do this, I would recommend checking out my channel and continuing to watch my channel because I give, I think, solid productivity advice. There was a level of framework and structure within my videos and the content of those videos that showed how I was able to organize my day, and I try to give those little nuggets because I am very technically proficient, and that is how I managed to handle 2 jobs without going crazy on top of the passion, right? The workload I was able to technically hands-on keyboard handle because of my skill set. The quantity of hours I had to work was able to be handled by me because of how much I cared and how much I felt like I was learning. If you're interested in doing more stuff, do that thing, especially if it's definitely positive for your life and is earning you money or earning you skills that are really tangible for the future way you will either interact with others in the workplace or the ways you treat people. I never want to diminish anyone's interest in philosophy or religion. I think those things are also great for the soul, great for the person, and you can spend time on those things as well. What I want you to avoid is spending a bunch of time reading nonsense news and, going on social media. And I know it's such an old man thing to say, but I'm 26 years old going on 40, okay? So if you want more of something in your life, capture it, go after it. I did, and I have no intent on slowing down. With that being said, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.